why are we talking about the youth today? What is entrepreneurship? Self-reliance, what does it mean? And then why are we talking about youth and entrepreneurship? And then I'll also go into the dynamism, stroke attributes of an entrepreneur. I'll also talk about how to become an entrepreneur. And then we shall look together at the opportunities for youths in Nebbi Diocese. And then recommendation and conclusion. That is the layout that this presentation will take. When I started looking at what do we mean by the word youth, the definition, there are various definitions, but they almost drive to the same thing. For example, UNESCO considers a youth as a period of transition from the dependency of childhood to adulthood's independence. That is UNESCO. They also say a youth is a person between the age where he or she may leave compulsory education and the age at which he or she finds his or her first employment. And then UN looks at a youth as a person between the ages of 15 to 24 years. And then our country looks at a youth, that's Uganda, as a person, female or male, aged between 12 to 30 years. I still went further. I said I work with the Catholic Church, and what I do, or what we do, is inspired by the scriptures. I looked back in the scriptures and realized that the scriptures say a youth is that time of vigor and strength. When someone is vigorous and someone has strength, that person is youthful. I looked at what my mandate, my authority says, that's the Catholic Church. It considers a youth as a person between the ages of 16 to 35. And within the African context also, a youth is that person between the ages of 15 and 35. In conclusion, I say a youth is that person who is still, it's not about the age, but someone who is still strong and someone who can contribute value to his or her society. That is what a youth should be. Doesn't matter of the age, but that is a person who is still strong and who is still vigorous, who can contribute values to his society. With that in mind and understanding what a youth is, I want to look at what do we mean by this animal entrepreneurship. And I looked at it as the process through which individuals identify opportunities, allocate resources, and create sustainable values. I won't say a business, but values. The creation of this value is often through the identification of unmet needs or through identification of opportunities for change. That is entrepreneurship. It's a process. It's not a one-day thing, but a process. And who can work within this context of entrepreneurship? I looked at an entrepreneur as a person who identifies an opportunity and creates a business out of it. This usually comes with considerable risks, personal sacrifice, and innovation. And then I also looked at what do we mean by self-reliance. Self-reliance is the social and economic ability of an individual, a household, or a community to meet essential needs. These essential needs include protection, food, water, nutrition, shelter, personal safety, health, and education in a sustainable manner and with dignity. We are not going to look at people who are going to be used as slaves, and then you are able to become self-reliant for a short time, and you think that you are able to earn resources for a short time. It's not sustainable, and without dignity, that one we can't equate that to self-reliance. Self-reliance has to be a situation where you are able to meet your needs with dignity and sustainably. After breaking all those, so we get to know exactly what we really need to do. So I said, why am I here today? Why are we here today? Or why is everybody, it has become a song, it's moving everywhere, youth and entrepreneurship. I thought, is it just this NGO world that as soon as a terminology comes, everyone jumps onto it and everybody starts talking about it? We said no. Why are we talking about youth and entrepreneurship? So we noticed that in Uganda, the working age population is increasing. And statistics show that in 2013, the working age population was 16.5 million people. And then in 2019, we were 19.1 million people. That is the working population. Out of the 19.1 million people who are supposed to be working, only 9 million people are employed. That is 47.5%. Where are the 10 million people? What are they doing? And then, out of these 9 million people who are employed, we are told only 2 million people are employed in the public sector. Myself, I'm sure some among you people also, when you are studying, you're looking at getting a job with government, public sector. We all look there and say, this is supposed to be our employer. But they are telling us out of 9 million, only 2 are employed by government or public sector. The rest, the 7 million, are employed by private sector. And then it is said that out of the 19.1 million, 6.7 are youth, aged between 18 and 30 years. And then this number, that 19.1, is increasing annually by 3.4. That's the annual rate of increment of the labor force in Uganda. That means the statistics of 2020, with the statistics of 2020, we are over 20 million who are employable. But we don't know how many were employed. So, how many jobs were also created in 2020? We are seeing here that the number of those employable is increasing, and then the job rates are not increasing commensurately with the number of those employed. That is the reason why me and you today we are here talking about youth entrepreneurship. The old have lived their lives, they are going. The youth, you need to plan now in order to improve the future. So we are here, me and you, to think, how can we create jobs? How can we stop to be job seekers? How? This question cannot be answered by one person or by one sector. There is need for concerted effort in order for all of us to answer this question. And if we answer it correctly, that means there will be an improvement in our economy, the national economy, right from the district to the nation. Our economy is going to improve. So youth entrepreneurship is the only mechanism to address development challenges and support the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals. That is why youth entrepreneurship is important. It's not only important for government, it's not only important for civil society, it is important for everyone, and it's now more important to the youth. And this makes me to go back. Today we are here, and our theme is saying we need to stand up. Stand up. I appoint you as a witness of what you have seen. We have looked at these facts. They are not something that someone just, they are facts, well-researched facts. And the theme, the scripture is calling upon us. We are witnesses. How can we stand up? How can we stand up to witness these facts? What can we do about these facts that we have mentioned? What can we do to reduce that employment rate in the country? And when I was looking at this, I was so appreciative to those who thought out this theme. Stand up. I appoint you as a witness of what you have seen. Me and you, how are we going to witness for these facts? Well, that is a question that we all need to ponder about and think about and come up with solutions. As I said, concerted solution. With that, I want to look at the dynamism, the quality, the attributes of an entrepreneur. And then when we are looking at this, so many times they ask question, is an entrepreneur made or born? Is an entrepreneur made or born? If we were in a workshop, I would have thrown it back to you. And we think about it together. We need to start thinking critically as youth. But this is what I came up with. If we are going to think of an entrepreneur, whether he's made or born, we need to look at the different attributes of this entrepreneur. What should an entrepreneur look like? What makes you an entrepreneur? And this is a few attributes. Others may have more attributes, but these are some of the ones I captured to share this afternoon with you people. One, an entrepreneur needs to be disciplined. Discipline meaning the person has to be focused on making their businesses work. And as I present, those we need to start asking this question. Ask yourself, am I disciplined? Am I focused to make something work? and eliminate any hindrances or distraction to my goal or to my objective. They say successful entrepreneurs, they are disciplined enough to take steps every day towards achievement of their goals. Every time you wake up, you take a step. You ponder about what you want to achieve. You are disciplined, you're getting focused. Then the person has to be confident. Confident. You need not to be asking questions, negative questions, whether I can succeed or whether this business is worthy or will it be successful. You don't need to ask such questions. Just get confident and say, this is going to work, and I'm going to make sure it works. Then the person has to be open-minded. Entrepreneurs realize that every event and situation is a business opportunity. While people are crying about problems, you are looking at it as a business opportunity. Right now, we have been through campaigns, election campaigns, people are moving around. To you, how did you make it an opportunity? Could you see an opportunity, a business opportunity there in all this that is going on? Open-mindedness. Then you need these two to keep on generating ideas constantly. Open-minded, constant ideas should keep on coming in. You need to be a self-starter. These things of waiting, government will do it. Start now. Anything you think of and you have thought about it critically, you start it there and then. You have to be competitive. An entrepreneur, you need to be on top of the game. You need to be on top of what you have started or what you have thought. Of course, when you think of a very good idea, many people will come in. But how can you remain on top? How can you outcompete those who are coming up after you? Creativity. You need to be creative. It also answers that question of competitiveness. When you are creative, you will think of new things to add into your business, what you have thought about. You have to be determined and persistent. When you fall, get up, rise up, and continue. And they say everything is successful when when you have experience. So if you try once and let it go, that means you're not building your experience. At the end of it all, you will be a jack of all trade and a master of none. But if you start an idea and you've realized that you can do it, remain there, persist. With time, you will learn more on what you are doing and you will improve. You cannot improve when you have not failed. You fail, you get up, you improve. And then you need to be have strong people skills. You need to build it. If you don't have it, build it. Build it. Have that strong people skill. Network. As I said in the beginning, you alone, you cannot be so knowledgeable. But with other people, you can be able to get more knowledge, get more experience. So you need to be a person of the people. And with that also, you will be able to sell your ideas or your business. And then you need to have that strong work ethics. Strong work ethics. You need to give more to your business. You need to keep time. We are supposed to start at 1. We thank God that the praise and worship team was already here praising. But we started a little bit late, 5 minutes into the time. we need to keep time. Give in more time to your business. That is the only way it will succeed. Passion. Love what you're doing. Do it with joy. Some people go to, for example, right now, our livelihood in this area, over 80% is in agriculture. But some people in the morning when they are going to dig, it's like a punishment. Then whatsoever you do, when you don't do something with love, you will never do it perfectly. You need to love what you do. And that is when even God will bless you. You keep cursing. In Genesis, we can see Abel and Cain. If you read that story, it's like whenever Cain was doing something, he was cursing instead of loving his work. On the other side, Abel was loving his work, and he kept on getting better yields than his brother. So do whatsoever you're doing, do it with passion. That is how you will succeed, and that is how you will become an entrepreneur. I hope with this, we are now able to start thinking, can an entrepreneur be made, or is an entrepreneur born? Deep in you, you should be thinking, do you have all these attributes? Or you can learn some of the attributes that we have just talked about. If you can learn them, then we can say an entrepreneur can be made. Yesterday when I arrived, I met one of the successful youth farmers in Ward. She's called Topista. I told her, what changes have you seen in your horticulture? She's doing horticulture. What are the changes you've seen in this business that you've started as a youth? She enlisted, I've been able to do this, I've been able to help my parents, we have renovated the house. I've been able to acquire a piece of land. I asked her, what do you want to do in the future? She said, I want to continue with horticulture, but I want also to start poultry. I asked her, do you have enough area? Where are you working from? She's still working in her father's home, father's land. I told her, are you beginning to see the risks that will come by the fact that you're still on that land? By the time we continued, she had already thought of the risks, and she was already planning now to buy a bigger plot of land where she can put her poultry and at the same time do her horticulture. That is a successful youth farmer. We also have other successful youth farmers. We have another one in Panyimur. I wanted to leave that part for my colleague to come and enlist those successes, but you can display so that the rest can also see the successful farmers. These are people who are determined. They are in a 4-year project. They started. The first year, the crops were burnt. Panyimur is hot. People told them the only thing that can work here is fishing. The second season they tried, it's one season. So the second year they tried again. And last year was the 3rd year. And if you look at this youth, he's proud of what he's doing because he is able to plant and have green throughout the year. He's been creative. He's been able to pull water wherever it is and bring it to his farm. Green throughout the year. He boasts of his achievement. The next is to trigger him and let him think higher than what he has now. With those few examples, I can now go to look at how to become an entrepreneur. I say here, we need to start thinking if we don't have some of these attributes, I said you can learn them. So you should start thinking of how to learn these new attributes, those attributes that you don't have. How can you learn and get them so that you can become also a successful entrepreneur? How to become an entrepreneur? Again, here I will say there are various steps. But for our sake this afternoon, I picked 5 and said, let's look at these 5 steps that can lead us to become entrepreneurs. 1 is developing an idea. And I hope that we who are here and those who are listening, after this, we sit down and start developing ideas. Let's look around ourselves, the environment in which we live. Where are the needs? Where are the problems? List the different needs you see in your community. Think of a solution to those needs. List solutions. Pick one need or a problem. List 10 different solutions. If it is agriculture, where is the problem? Is it input in your community? What is the problem? Is it the farming methods? Where is the problem? Is it marketing? Look at the problem. List 10 solutions to a problem. If it is input, think around input. How can you bring improved inputs to your community? List the solutions. After listing the solutions, choose one solution. Assess yourself. Can you be able to implement this solution? Assess yourself. Look at your strength. Look at your strength, your hobbies, your skills. Look at them in relation to this idea that you have developed, to this solution that you have chosen. For example, if you've chosen a solution and you have so many solutions, I said you have like 10 solutions to a problem, then you realize that one of your strengths is smiling, interacting with people. Then automatically you will know, I could do a very good business that relates to personal relationships. at that community level, you'll start thinking in that line. Look at your weaknesses, work on them. The weaknesses are those some of the attributes up there that you don't have. Work on them. If you are not determined, try to see how you can start getting determined. If you're not disciplined financially or any other discipline, try to see that you're getting disciplined. I know whenever we talk about entrepreneurship, the first challenge everyone will give is always, where will the money come from? I want to start a business. I've thought of an idea. Where will the money come from? We have an approach in development called asset-based development approach. Asset-based community development approach, the ABCD. Before you start looking for money outside, first list what you have. That solution you've thought about, list what you have. What do you have? After listing what you have, then you can start looking for additional resources. And that takes me to the next step. I was still talking about developing an idea. Develop that idea. As you develop the idea, I said look at your strength, look at the problems in the community or in your household. When you list those problems, choose one problem, list solutions, choose one solution, relate it to your strength, personal strength. Look at what is around you that you can start with. And then so, that takes me to the second step. Now we have thought of an idea. We've thought of a solution and we are going to start. So what do we need? Let's seek advice. The second step is seek advice. People out there are knowledgeable. Go around an issue. Ask about it. For example, if you want to start an agribusiness, you need to know the value chain of a given agricultural enterprise. What happens at every value chain, at every step of the value chain? After knowing that, then you can sit down and see how best you are going to be able to implement this solution that you have thought. And that takes us to the third step. You have an idea or a solution that you want to start. You've sought advice. You've got knowledge around it. Now you are the master of that solution. What next? Plan for the solution. Planning helps us to track our success. List down the how, the when, the where. List them down. You're planning to implement a solution you have thought about. And here, I quoted that there are 3 types of people. The lady is called Mary Kay. She says there are 3 types of people in the world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what happened. When our successful youth in Panyimur was beginning, his friends were wondering, They were wondering. Today, when they see he has green all through the year, they are like, what happened? What happened that this one is successful? So those are the three kind of people. And today, our theme is calling upon us, telling us to stand up and stand up. I appoint you as a witness of what you have seen. The successful youth is a witness of the unemployment of the area. The same to us this afternoon. The theme is telling us, stand up, do something about the situation of unemployment, plan your business so that you can track your success. Plan your business so that you don't pour resources. And when we are saying this, someone will say, that is for the educated. No. As long as you can read and write. Even when you cannot read and write, you can call someone and say, put for me this, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what I want to do. Plan. Then the next step, network. Identify your social resources. It is important to think of the people that you know and assess how they can be beneficial to you at the different stages of your entrepreneurial process. I am a programmer, and for us, this is where what we call the stakeholder analysis. I equate it to that. We want to know who can do what in a project that I'm designing. When can this person do something? Where? When you identify them, start approaching them. I'm telling you, at a certain point, you will realize that someone wants to partner with you. And this brings me to an example in Gulu, Amoro. We had a project, food security project, and income. The lady was the member of the group. She had a son. She invited her son to help her implement some of the practical trainings they had given them. The son came, helped her. That is because they had chosen, her group chose to plant nuts. And they were trained in animal traction. She realized she cannot push those bulls herself. So what happens? She invites her son. Can you join in the other training so that you can help to plow my land? The son joined. That is stakeholder analysis. But it is a very beautiful success story. So what happens? The boy joined the mother. The program gave that group one pair of oxen, an ox plow, as a demonstration. When the boy joined and they were working together with the mother, they realized by the time this pair of oxen is going round, for them it's already late. The season is going. So what happens is their land preparation was late in that season. So what they did, after the sales of the nuts, they bought one bull. The next season came. Now they had joined hand, mother and son. The next season, they were able to buy another bull and a plow. So they had their own oxen and plow. Cut the story short. In the 4 years of the project, The son surpassed the mother, of course, but the proceeds they got, they were able to change their shelter. They were able to construct for the mother a house, a decent one, and the boy was also able to construct for himself a house, a decent one. And the boy was able, because as he kept on meeting challenges, he would think around the challenge. One of their challenge was transporting their produce from garden, home to market. By the time 4 years elapsed, the boy had bought a Sahara pickup, and he named it Red Beauty. Those who have ever seen a Sahara with the name Red Beauty, that came from this project, from scratch. In 4 years, they were able. When they had their oxen and ox plow, they expanded. Good enough they had land, so they expanded their production. They were able to negotiate good markets because they were working as a group, a whole group of 30 farmers. So they were able to have value addition in their farming. So those are some of the success stories that we can bring. And those are some of the entrepreneurs. Right now, I think if we went back, because of his attributes, I will not be surprised to find that he has started up peanut butter making business, because he is thinking outside the box. So I was trying to expound on networking. This woman she networked with her son. She realized she didn't have that strength. She brought in her son, and her son helped her. And I'm sure they brought in more people to help them in their business. And then the fifth step, which I look at, is the marketing. As you are planning there, you have to start also identifying your customers, the market. Determine the customer's needs and wants. And when I'm talking here, I look at packaging. Packaging and labeling is very key when it comes to marketing. Marketing is also another whole story of its own. Quality, quantity, and consistency. These days, this region, we are looking at agriculture. And the slogan these days that is moving in agriculture is quantity and quality. If you're thinking of an agriculture-related venture, quantity and quality and consistency. People will know that Helen plants onion. Every time it's harvest season, they'll come to me and say, do you have onion? Consistency. Continuously monitor your customers or your market. I've seen so many businesses are learning this these days. They send you a message. How was our product? Can you join this link so that you look at our new products? How about you at this level? How can you monitor your customers, your success? How? So those are the 5 steps I listed. Then when I gave the layout, I said we would talk about opportunities. When I came to the area of opportunities, I really put big question marks. Because I said we need to think of an idea ourselves if we are to become entrepreneurs. Everyone go back, sit down, and think of an idea. So I have question marks, opportunities for us in Nebbi Diocese. But in these question marks, I kept on putting a few things. I looked at art and crafts. For sure. We all know here in Alud land, our mattress is the papyrus color. Is there any value that has been added to color? Our eating utensils are ajani. Is there any added value to ajani? When you look at those old cups, this is art and craft. A local awal. Have we added value to put these things in the market? Those are some of the questionable opportunities. I look at very white stones. Go to Arisi, those areas, very white stones. But when people travel, they buy stones crafted. Our soils. Are there people thinking about? Christmas comes, they go and pick those very nice white soils in the valleys. Is there someone thinking of adding value to this? Those are opportunities. Then when I go to look at the different government programs, NUSAF was here. I can't tell the successes, but I'm sure somewhere, somehow, if we had grabbed these opportunities, youth livelihood program, there are sub-county grants that are being given to both youth, women. If you are a female one, go for the women one. All these are opportunities. When you go to agriculture, we do white beans. For me, I've eaten canned white beans. Canned. Imported. What is wrong with our white beans, these ones that are here? Can we package it and also can it so that it is sold expensively? By the way, canned, very expensively sold, and they are eaten in very expensive hotels. But we grow white beans. Those are a few things I was looking at when it comes to opportunities. By the way, these days there is also culture, sale or promotion of cultural values. It's also a business within the tourism sector. Are we venturing in those ones also as youths? We need to think. Father in the morning talked about alcoholism. What is taking much of our time? We need to take time in a day, take some quiet moment. It's very unfortunate that these days our world is full of noise. Noise. We don't have time to sit and meditate. The noise is all around us. You pass there, you hear music, you sing it a little bit, you go the other side, you sing another one. At the end of it all, your brain is not synthesizing things to sit down and think. Get a quiet moment as a youth. Meditate, think, pray. As you're praying, meditating, keep on telling God, I want a new idea, and it will come. So with this, I'll rush to the recommendation. And I gave recommendation to three categories of people. 2. 1, parents, relatives, and friends. We need to impart positive views of business among the youth. I'll jump some. I had an example here. Someone who was talking about how the family helped him to start a business. The second recommendation goes to stakeholders, government, civil society, churches, mentioned. And here we look at 3 main areas. I know all the youth here, the next thing you are going to say challenges. If we had all the time, everyone will start talking about the challenges. We don't have capital, we don't have this. Here I'm trying to capture it under the recommendation that there are 3 main areas that need to be discussed for successful youth entrepreneurship. These are money. How best can we ensure that the young entrepreneurs have access to capital through bank loans, grants, and personal assets? We need mentors for the youth. The youth need business skills. We need mentors. We need the market. And this goes to the government. What is the environment? What are the policies? At district level, how best are the local governments helping our youth to market their produce? And then I said 3 things that we need to discuss. Government, churches, civil society mentioned 3 things. Money as capital for the youth. We need mentors. And then we need markets. And then finally, I conclude with a letter. A letter by Pope Francis in his apostolic exhortation, Christus Vivit. He says, "Dear young people, make the most of these years of your youth. Don't observe life from a balcony." And in our context, don't observe life under shops, verandas of shops, seated there and watching people pass 1, 2, 3, counting cars and bicycles. Don't confuse happiness with an armchair, or live your life behind a screen. TV. Football has become football for the male youths. You are there watching TV. You are watching people making their money. Whatever you do not become the sorry sight of an abandoned vehicle. Don't be packed cars, but dream freely and make good decisions. Take risks. Take risks. I did not talk about risks, but I need to say something here. When you start thinking, developing your idea, think of the risks and think of the mitigative measures. Don't just plunge into risks and say you are beginning a business. Think of mitigative measures. But here the Pope also says, take risks, even if it means making mistakes. Don't go through life anesthetized. You are just there sleeping. That is not the Pope, that is me. Or approach the world like tourists. Make a ruckus cast out of the fears that paralyze you, so that you don't become young mummies. Live, give yourself over to the best of life. Open the door of the cage. Go out and fly. Please don't take an early retirement. This is a letter from the Pope. And with this, I want to thank you very much for listening. I'll invite my colleague to summarize in Allure and also witness some of the cases. Thank you so much for listening.
Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, the National Coordinator for the Youth, the Diocesan Youth Chaplain, those who are viewing us on Radio Maria or listening to us on Radio Maria, Apache FM, and then the media circle for the Catholic Church, that is the Facebook. I'm going to be very brief. I'm called Alfred Masendi. I'm the Program Officer for Caritas Nebbi, and I'm the Coordinator Justice and Peace for Nebbi Catholic Diocese. I am a very young man, but with a huge title. Why? I'm not a youth but I worked as a youth person for this diocese. I'm going to summarize what my coordinator Helen has spoken in alone. Umego ngunyemego para ata kreti arado mibe winja shorka go. Either ngit radio peri, ingit Facebook peri, I winj lembe ma akoya mabe shitoka nyamo iri ini do batini. Nyamego Helen we shi lembe pa entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship utie shungi witie njugijo. Nendra ne an sawa mama nyola e woda ingom eni kwo awok pia sami wok pia iwak sawa mi iwak emi ushake dodo sami dodo chak eteri somo sami eteri somo e wachu yoleng aweki wigiri unyamba be yoleng aweki giri ite on your own. Now arado utenga jumoko muteginde ko digilongiri giti arado itenge mamu ecclesia arado tengati ma oru para chako mishako oru apara buser bitudi pira de kia beach unguma tong jalo pa UN kiwashine arado tengati mo chako ora para beach bitudi oru pira ngwen ikongo jiwashine arado chako ora para de bitudi pira de kia ngwen wana jomo bino en bino chalo sadeni chalo de wilembe mo obo wacho ko wonya ay malo in majulondi chalo sadeni ay malo beno wunu choma jolondo bino kakai conference e jolondo mananungu dero jumbe winjwa de jolondo mananungu ay malo stand up. I appoint you as a witness of what you have seen. Aimalo ashimi alondi shalo sadeni pajomange muneno aimalo wake up unarado bine bidais and me arado mo mi ecclesia. Let's wake up, stand up. We have been dormant for long. Obedu talk shit e washo ni akomako inaradi ko ikuoni nedi makushingi batek makushinga batek ama kushinga bateka kwa hiyo yagira entrepreneurship sai bodo muko maketi shungi witiendi giri ena tana ba entrepreneurship ti eni boko shuyi ketambala shuya gulu furufur pin muko baruon mongo o meko bodo ne mesho bukete ko ko de witiendi giri enu tie pinma nyameko weshiwie self reliance shugi witiendi giri dara di bagay Nebbi Cathedral parish butie otentie kay Nebbi Cathedral parish wa jinga nen warotie panimurutie zeutie ikindo no waikane ami to ngati ay parish mo ka chel kawti ga keni mangeyo ami tamik example nyola pour parade moko mi parish perisha mube ko witiendi gire karakai ay conference edi nyoke tie woku kunu inyuta mi ay paris makan nyapea very good nyapea watimutisha wende kwe kokonga pata kagale ingyo pa Mario maber chidio pa Mario esha inwa ngara do pari te dig bagi furufuru do nyaga kibikonyi iwinjile mawacho. So udaro mo bewinja watie kudaro ba pol self reliance utie shungi bitie njukicho kay shungi bitie ndigiri angombo be mitre ibengi ashiel wima ko betuolu kay londo pinna be chitemo wima ko betuolu ko di wekle mo kurubui kade washi shuyu kitambala wekle be moko banyoto wi shuyu kitambala peri bakele lem chapul pinma ko do sen wi pinma di longa open mind tuolu ba wich be wi betuolu self starter shagiri omira ngati mbe shagiri pinyupe shagiri start on your own, be somebody who can start life on his own. Now polokre things are becoming bad lembe benyotere omakudo ngate baro shaka yaro ko pare ko dankore kumeningo meaning ni agudara de mangate baro shaka yaro ko pare dankore kai mako piny moko ne ne bedo ng'at moko machako piny ne gire. Determination. Ketu chwiny. Determination kuto galuti ketu chwiny. Ke chwiny wi piny betemo. Dhano mo be winja wi radio. Obo winja ka bedo matong tong. In keti arado ka piny moko chako ke chwiny wiye. Ke chwiny. Confident. Confident kuto galuti obi di ulame matek chalo jomo winja woko. Confident tinia kelari ke geniri giri. Wana rado sa mo ko genrengo giwa. Wa geniringo kadong geniringo giri dong hu ngambe shi geni nobody geniri kesha ko pin mo ke geniri na it is possible achopote mo pinye it is possible. What is impossible? Everything is possible. That is what Madam Helen is saying. Pin cheke klari geniri giri confidence kwar chwin geniri. That is the determination you should have. Self discipline woro klari wuri giri. Meni ka woni be chika luoro ngasi ide soko ibe chika luoro sene de soko ibe chika luoro ngori de soko ka podi ikelari ke bi ngoya ni ite wor ite luoro ni nedi ite aradi de soko ba podi tunu ngoy de soko ko danya ki pe tanu ngoli to ko bangwa ngayo mi woto ni ajo ki pe do selinga di anyo dong ishudu machigiromo ngawila nyo ki pe ne. Self discipline is very important. Creative and innovative. Creative and being innovative. Tell me tinia. Ya wingi. Kai beloro sosa. Ketiro soka sosa soko kalari lira dogo sosa. Kanang daru mo ko beliro sosa mikingo ilir peri. Kanang kalanga diteru mawidi. Inke pit peri. Kata amaro arado mira rua amaro jo mira rua kakiteru kata de soko geluoko ko mkata kongo luoko valeur addition meaning the value addition medo rua mi kompin peri kara ka pataro jo welo ngo peri ikete nen mu kosko mamiki kara jo wel value addition eno value addition eni kikite pin na pikitek bu maklare mag na chalchalarado being creative and being innovative. Lebe perizo ke to kosko padano. Skill tie bodo mi wisho bodo ite molembe bedo daro ma ber ma mol ma yo uti yone ma inaradi so bunu ankoro bero amedere e washo ko mai kendo. How do you become an entrepreneur? Ishopo doko ja bodo mi lodi ni di chalarado ma e win ma ber ishopo bedo ja bodo ishopo temo pin moko mi lonyo nenedi angoma marketing karale meni rombi mida shiel klari woko lembe arado oba nyang maberi klari woko lembe develop an idea woko lembe and any anisho tika de dongo betui adonya nok som de dongo jai achete mango badonga woni ngom de dong udendere ada ko dong ding dong de atebere ni nedi develop an idea. Shaklembe moku. Start something. If it is piggery, say I'm doing piggery. If it is poultry, what that is poultry. Kapito nyanya, apito basala, apito asala. Shak idea. Shak paru moku. Ke shak paru moku. Pen advice. Don't want to watch you seek advice. You are not perfect. Come to us in Caritas. We shall help you. Go to anybody who can give you good advice. Shidiba ngadi moko mi paru malengi kumlembe peri no. Kaibe pito nyanya, shidiba jara furu nyanya. Kaibe pito basala, shidiba jara furu pito basala. Ungo yanya kaibe furu nyanya, igam shidipen pare bangade pito gweno. Rumbungo. So when you're getting advice, if you have decided an idea of doing onion, go to a farmer who does well in onion to seek advice. Piretek. Piretek. Draw a plan. Wuku plan peri. Kainu wango paro. Mabesho. Ishako lembe moku. Wuku plan. What is my plan? Wuku plan. Kaplado pe idangungo. During a plan. Identify social network. Shakanu wango ngagi. Magishopo ni konya ko plan para. Nga mashinga rombo kuki. Inyang maberi. That's why after here, I want to take you. This cycle is going to be explained by a youth, a successful youth in Nebbi Town, urban youth, whom we supported, a youth who studied in Israel or some Israel. There was no job, but he came to Caritas, and we showed for him the way. And what I'm speaking, what Helen has spoken, we want to take you to go and see live with your eyes. Patomasi, ngoe kakae. Because we not any. I know some of you are listening to us on radio, on Facebook. Why did they waste the whole of their time? My friend, we did not waste our time. We have not come for nothing. You who have come, stand up. You have been chosen a witness. Ay malo. The theme is saying, ay malo. Do yera yera jolonda londa kinara do zo ibin chalu sadeni. Ay malo. Winyo mabere. Enu tie pe machinero. Mira digede sai soko. Look for your own market. There is a market. Look for the market. Sai soko. Omira soko tie. Sama ekepito nyanya ko basala. Soko pe. Soko tie. Winyo mabere. Soko utie. Dari gamberu ngati. Winyo mabere. Beru ngati. Jambe gole no weshola. Pen plan. Goi plan peri. Pen paro. Ke penjo paro. Igamu angania. Inuango lembe cheke murombo. Nang yore mokuma ishop kan wang kudo dano mokuma gikonyi ya toto. You are youth here, you are very many. How many of you have ever come to me? Dana iki dwen mubi ni banga magibedi nebi. Mungeya ange u check it. Even online, how many of you have come to me? Look for people who can help you. Don't just sit. People are there to help you. Father Walter is there. Look for him in his parish. Sai parish pare. Wani father, lembe besenda kakai. Ako ni nedi. Parish priest mugitie. Successful youth gitie. You know, for us, alur, wana luru makwashaka belego lega mishir. Wakeli gwe kulego lega mito. Kaine no ngati bae timo pin maleng watch adama katima tek karalo ngati cha. In other words, I'm saying, we the youth, we should always be praying prayers of resurrection. In Alur, we like prayers of the death. We don't want to pray prayers of resurrection. All the time we are praying people should die instead of saying people should resurrect. You the youth, your prayer should be prayers of resurrection. Period. How should we resurrect? You can resurrect very fast. When you see this chart of mine, very good. Your prayer should be, I should work hard and get a better shot than the one of Alfred. Atima tek, I'm not starting my lengo lao pare. But you'll find some of your colleagues are praying, I should fall down, the shot should get torn. Now, who am I? So, this is the thing that is required from us, the youth. So, I want to stop here. I want us to, Amida Jika Kenny. Kalembe lot, mimi tipenjwa. Wabeshigam. Agneonia lembe molot, iutiele. Kanyo lembe lot, ikadi online. You can still look at. Take a look at this picture. Somebody to get for me the projector. Take a look at this picture. Somebody to slide for me a bit. Take a look at those pictures. Let's stand there. Take a look at those pictures. I don't know how I can explain this because I need my pictures to be seen, but I wanted to explain those pictures in 1 minute. Can I come down there? I can come with the mic there. Can you move? No, I wanted to come with the mic to explain the picture there. Is it okay? Very good. This is the boy. This is the very boy. Who is the man? This youth is called to find out that every week this is now this is innocent. This is in getting this harvest, is able to get some of these things with a lot of knowledge. Now this is his returns. He's a youth. Now this is his house. How many of you are able to sleep in such a nice house in a village? He has a motorcycle. Now he has a car. Let's clap. I told you, alone people don't want always to clap for good things. So I encourage you to stand up. Before you speak.
Let us give a mighty hand clap for our brother. Thank you so much. At this point in time, we are going to answer some few questions. Our program coordinator, Caritas Uganda. First of all, I want to thank all the young people that you have listened to Helen, the one in charge of all the programming, and you're getting it from the source. And our brother, Alfred, for really giving the practical things, because Helen said, for them, they are planning up, and Alfred, they're on ground. Let us clap for Alfred, this wonderful presenter. Alfred, thank you so much, and we are very grateful. Nyegu, Titudnying, Umbili, Sendalur. Nyap, laziness, negative feelings. They look at agriculture as a dirty thing. People want to style up, feeling sweet. The time is not now. And I want to thank you for giving us this information, dear Caritas Uganda and then Caritas Nebbi. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Please.
Okay, thank you so much, my colleague, Alfred. We have questions. We have very little time. We are going into prayers, Divine Mercy. I'll try to summarize all those questions that are relating to market for agribusiness. First, questions that are relating to starting up businesses. During my presentation, I said, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't jump onto bandwagons. You think of unique solutions. You think outside the box. So when you say, how do I start my business? I said, look at the resources around you first. That's where you can start. Assess yourself, your strength, your ability, and look at the market. Then you can start a business. And then there is another question on support by Caritas Uganda. Your business is going down, but Caritas cannot help if we don't know exactly what is letting your business down, what is making your business not to progress. You need to think about it first yourself, and then you can go out to get advice, professional advice. In Nebbi, we have those of Masendi. They can give you some of the professional advice when it comes to agribusiness and marketing.